Number one in the singles charts remained the same. Nothing was knocking Afro Man off for his third week at number one. Not even the Rapture. And it comes from IIO and Nadia Ali.
So this is the debut single off the debut album Poetica, and that didn't actually come until 2005, randomly enough.
Yeah.
So IIO is actually Nadia Ali and Marcus Moser, but they still put the featuring on of Nadia Ali to kind of draw some extra attention to her.
Yeah.
And it was a interesting story of how they met, because she was working at Versace in New York and got introduced to him by somebody working there, and then pretty much the rest is history. He was trying to form a girl band, and then all of a sudden they're the duo. When this came out, I was obsessed, like properly obsessed with this track.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it, because the vocoder they've put on her voice is just different to the approach we've ever heard before. You know, I was coming through an era of Cher Believes and Fives doing things like that, you know, and this was just, there was something more creative with the way that they've done her, and I just loved this, and I've got loads of memories of it with my mate Trevor. Pretty much this is Trevor racking up in the morning, you know, going to school and being late because we wanted to watch the actual video to this one too. So yeah, happy. I think we just got on digital then. So ITV Digital, before it was ITV Digital, was on digital, and you could kind of go into like an electrical shop and buy the box for it, and then you just all of a sudden through your aerial had music channels.
Yeah.
And this is where I started to get music channels, because we had on digital. I think anything that was like freeviewish beforehand, you only had 2 channels, whereas now I was starting to get music channels at this point. And then on digital, on ITV Digital,
went bust.
Pretty much went bust, because everybody using dodgy cards, and luckily I had a brother that lived in Belfast and could get hands on these dodgy cards. But yeah, I loved this track. What do you think?
I am with you. I think I fancy this song. Like, not just like it or love it. I think I'm actually kind of like romantically attracted to it. It's that good. It does just put you under a spell. It is hypnotic. It's all hooks, and much like your current winner, Kylie, it's got a la 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 hook.
Yeah.
That's just like, it's so enticing. I think it's got the mysterious factor and the hypnotic factor like Kylie has. Lyrically, it's only a little bit more complicated. As we know, Kylie's not got a lot of different lyrics to it. It's kind of quite a simple vocal structure, even if the actual song structure is totally alien and totally weird.
Yeah.
This has like a real trance dimension to it that sucks you in. And I think for a song called Rapture, is there anything romantic than the end of the world? I think it's a concept that we see in music and in film and stuff, that the end of the world and the rapture, as it's kind of spoken about here, is actually quite a romantic concept. Think about the line in Mariah Carey Fantasy, which I've been playing a lot, as you know, from previous weeks. She sings about images of rapture, and it makes you feel kind of warm inside, because it's quite, I don't know, there's something about the end of the world that does make me kind of like lit up a little bit. I don't know why that is, it's just strange. No, like I say, I do think I fancy this song. I do think I am attracted to it in a way that no other track has really got me like this before.
I did fancy Nadia Ali at the time as well too. So she's had some, so if you don't know much about Nadia Ali, she has been big. This one song made her massive in the dance world for a long period of time. It kind of ended up being like a bit of a battle about who owns what, who does what, re-releasing some tracks and all of that kind of crack. And she then ended up going off and doing some stuff solo, but she's had some banging tracks that if you listened to mainstream radio back in like 2010 and 2011, you probably couldn't have escaped her tracks really. So if you listen to this one, this was when Rapture was brought back, and it was kind of produced by Avicii. This was massive, so good. And then in 2011 as well, she had this massive track which was like Nadia Ali, Star Killers, Alex Kenji, and Alesso. So she was kind of like the clubbing queen and festival queen at this point. Like, these tracks were massive. But yeah, Nadia Ali, I want more of her in my life. I don't get enough of her in my life.
It's funny they mentioned the Avicii one, because I saw this in the list coming in a few weeks' time, and I thought, I'll have a listen and see if I remember it. And the version that I heard, the version we're talking about, isn't the one that stuck in my head. It is that Avicii one from 2010. And I back in the day, I loved the Avicii one when that first came out. Like, that's my generation's version of this track, and this one we're talking about now is kind of like a generation back for me. I remember I had like my phone, and I had a games console that I had that I'd put music on that I'd rip from YouTube, just straight up YouTube convert stuff. stuff, it all sounded like arse, and a lot of the stuff was like music videos, so you'd hear all the music video sound effects and stuff. But yeah, I've got vivid memories of having this on my whatever device I was using at the time and playing it a lot. I think Radio 1 played it. It got number 4 in the charts, so
wow.
it's if we continue this show for whatever reason in 2010, we'll actually cover the Avicii remixes, which is quite funny. And there's a version for every decade, as it turns out so far. I wonder if it'll continue, because in 2020, Ray brought it back with Rudimental for a track that she released off her latest album. I love Ray so much, and I love that she's brought this back. I think her sound has developed so much over the last few years, because it was kind of R&B music and rap music. Now it's kind of transformed into pop music, and it's now dance music as well. Yeah, this is great. And I think that the nature of the song being what it is the kind of thing that is timeless and can have different iterations per decade. And I wonder if by like 2100 in 80 years time we'll still be getting this track over and over again. I think there's a magic about it. There really is a magic about it.
I agree.